everybody. Thank you for joining this session. We're going to be discuss about banking modernization and why event-driven is becoming more and more important. And my name is Alessandro Petroni. I'm the CEO of a BusinessMesh consulting company. Our company provides information services for financial services, integration services, and also artificial intelligence solution. We've been doing this for roughly 20 years, working at banks of all sizes in the entire globe. So what I would like to discuss with you is event-driven, and it's not definitely something new, but there are new opportunities to leverage once more this technology and also tooling available to make our life easy in order to implement. So who cares about this? I would say this session is for business architects, for technologists and business analysts that want to transform the bank using the latest technology, and they're looking for tooling and technologies and techniques in order to help innovating the bank in a quick way. But what is the concept of eventing and banking? Why we're discussing about eventing in a context of financial services? Well, definitely it's clear that the bank of the future is the bank that is able to anticipate customers in their daily behavior and the long-term intention to invest their money, but also markets. Markets in financial services are becoming more and more fast-pacing, changing, due to the fact there are many players, and not only banks or financial institutions that are providing aid to manage investments. Big digital players are able to influence customers, so markets as a whole, to invest, to spend, or to save, whereas they're not bank services, they're a banking institution themselves. So the bank knows this and needs to start adapting. If before the bank was very good in planning and executing, and eventually able to detect situation of opportunity or customer situation and react quickly, it's clear that the bank of the future will be able to even predict the customers and adapt quickly to serve end user in any way possible. It's clear that digital is the key for banking, as everybody every day, like you and me, use mobile devices, web online services to consume or to decide. Even for banking, we do expect our financial advisory or institution to be at our service immediately by the means of a tap, by the means of a click. And not only we are expecting the bank to help us, but also other institution or service provider, let's call them, they are somehow related to the fact that we are spending, so we are buying or retail websites, or we are just, while we are traveling, for example, we need to execute certain activities that will require us to spend money or to transfer funds, and this needs to be available anytime. So the bank is somehow related to, let's say, transportation industries. While we travel, we need to be covered financially and also in moving around in a secure way. So the digitalization of services of banking, which is clear and expected, happens in a certain way. And the power to understand point in time what is happening in business or by serving the customer while, for example, they're traveling, we can express them in the concept of a business event. The event is a representation of a fact or a situation that happens point in time. Of course, having only the awareness or detection of a series of event of activities that the customer is immersed every day is not enough. So events are constituting a much richer context into what is servicing the customer, which is done by traditional means, by serving the customer at the teller or through the mobile phone or online banking, or by helping the customer to relate to other services. So context is important. And here, the context is required because we need to start integrating the bank and the other service provider that are serving the customer in a very timely way. But why is it so difficult to modernize banking and services related to financial services? Well, we've been doing this since ever. We're modernizing bank almost every day as technologies and provider of services, or even cloud provider helping the banking industry. But what has been missing, and we are finally finding solution, is the ability to describe all these situations in a clear way. The situation is the representation of a customer behavior, for example. Can we do with an event? Test the idea, and let's see what we can do using methodology, techniques, architecture, and also tooling at our disposal nowadays. As we want to describe how to put a system together, right? A set of flows, of workflows to help customer service and relationship management to be more proactive and reactive on the analysis of what the customer is doing. We want to focus on the concept of discussing, representing, and sharing among the department, the business department that we have been describing here, a set of facts about the customer. So let's focus on the customer and the relationship management that is the knowledge that the bank has for the customer that eventually closes the loop to provide certain activity of interaction with the customer to improve it with the wellness of the customer or the needs point in time. So eventing, again, we're discussing about event. So what is an event? An event is a representation of what the customer is going through, is doing. For example, a customer that is relocating from one city to another city, or maybe upgrading the house, is definitely a major event or a life event. The bank, knowing this, could be proactively provide opportunity for the customer to find the best loan if the customer has to upgrade or downgrade the house. So provided better rates, or maybe resize the loan and review terms and conditions. This is an opportunity only if the financial institution knows that the customer is interested or moving, and eventually acquire a new apartment, for example. Same goes when the customer is traveling for business or pleasure. It's clear that the customer will need to be paying for hotels and taxes and transportations. Having the opportunity to follow the customer point in time, even understanding where the customer is from the point of view of currencies, and opportunity to get some saving using specific provider for transportation, is an act of helping customer proactively by the means, for example, of interacting with the mobile phone with the banking application. How this is happening. So, well, if we are able to describe behavioral situation for the customer, which we could distinguish into kind of life behaviors and also financial eventing behavior. For example, the customer is withdrawing big amount of money, which could be generating some cash flow imbalance. The bank is usually reacting very quickly, knowing that, for example, that there is a family or a friend kind of event that requires expenditure because the customer knows relationship among customer is vital for the bank of the future to serve customer better. So how do we describe these events? Well, in the past, these functions, relationship management, customer services, they are in general different departments in the bank, different systems that support the activities. And so integration among these capabilities and flows and activities happen by the means of integrating, supporting application, and happen in general by the means of application integration. This is done in many ways, but finally we have the ability to describe this eventing, and not only once and forever, but describing granularly a set of events that over time are enriching the capability for the institution to serve better the customer. Example, if the bank knows initially how to manage a customer relocation activity by providing transportation, moving facilities, for example, services, the bank eventually needs to help the customer into traveling, in the travel business. Maybe that capability module or department is not existing yet, is emerging. So there is always a level of maturity of these capabilities that we need to keep in mind while we are evolving the system supporting the services. I personally happen to be helping banking for almost 25 years in my career, work at banks, work at vendors, and recently I had the pleasure to collaborate with Solace and also a few banks and customer services systems. And we built a system by focusing again on exchanging information about eventing. Eventing is one thing that needs to be described. And this is the case, for example, as we discussed before, a behavior of the customer, which we can define a customer behavior insights, either financial or behavioral life event, are well described in a system of events. And the picture here shows how the two entities in the bank, the customer behavior insight system, is able to transfer information or events by transferring this information in real time to another part of the bank, which is the customer relationship management system. Those systems are connected with flows of events, which are depicted by the arrows here. And those flows are essentially defined and cataloged all together. And this is the ability to start finally collaborating based on customer events, customer business activities. Events are finally described, so designed, they are cataloged in one place. And as always happens in system and information systems, things change over time. So it's absolutely important that we manage accurately the life cycle or the version of activities and also events. With this new platform, we are finally able to have one place where we can design collaboratively, we can document the eventing, and eventually, with few other capabilities of the platform, we are able to transform an event from a customer, like, as we mentioned before, a move, a relocation, into a set of representation that immediately will be converted into software code that eventually becomes essentially the digitized services for the banking in terms of a software asset being designed. So finally, we are able to now go from a very high level analysis of financial services capabilities and services provided to the end customers, understand the progression of ability to serve the customer in different situations, traveling, moving, and then using techniques like business analysis, architecture, and software development, aided by tools to do this very quickly, cohesively, and in a collaborative way. So this has been my experience working with 4 banks, one big customer relationship management system, and of course, the partner with Solace, where we built a system, very complex system, in a matter of a couple of months by leveraging a common collaborative platform, which is, in this case, provided by Solace. With this, I thank you very much for your time. I hope you found this information useful for you. Here are my contacts. If you want to know more in terms of design, architecture, coding, implementation, you can contact me anytime. And I thank you very much for your time.